All right, so let's dive into this whole AI prompt engineering thing. I know a lot of you out there are super interested in it and want to wrap your heads around what all the hype is about.
Yeah, definitely seems like it's exploding right now.
For this deep dive, we're looking at an article from LearnXYZ,
Okay.
and it's titled AI Prompt Engineer, the Emerging Role Shaping the Future of Artificial Intelligence.
And well, we're going to figure out what it is and why it matters so much and what skills you would need to get into it.
Sounds good.
Okay, so what exactly does an AI prompt engineer do? I mean, what do they do all day?
So imagine you have this crazy powerful AI.
Like ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly like ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But it needs really, really clear instructions, to do specific tasks. So that's where the prompt engineer comes in. They craft those super precise instructions called, well, prompts to guide the AI to get what you want.
So it's like way more than just, typing in write me a poem and hoping for the best.
It's like much more.
It's like giving a chef a detailed recipe, right?
Yeah.
Versus just make me something delicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the more precise and nuanced the prompt is, the better the output from the AI is going to be.
Yeah, the article mentioned how just changing a word or two in a chatbot prompt made the AI give a completely different and totally useless answer.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's kind of scary how much impact a tiny tweak can have.
Yeah, it is. That's why this whole role is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's all about understanding all the little nuances of language and how the AI is going to interpret it, right? A bad prompt, even with a really good AI, could lead to some, well, disastrous results.
So, okay, what's it actually like to be a prompt engineer, day to day?
Yeah.
What are their main responsibilities?
Well, first you have to understand the AI model, what it's good at, where it struggles, and how it processes language, right? Then they design prompts that are specifically made for that model to get the results that they're looking for.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Nope.
You can't just copy and paste prompts from one AI to another.
No. Each AI model has its own quirks, and it, needs a specific approach. It's like learning different languages, but for machines.
Whoa. So what skills do you actually need to be good at this, to be a successful prompt engineer?
A strong grasp of natural language processing, or NLP.
Okay, so NLP.
Which is all about how humans and computers talk to each other using, well, language. It's not just grammar. It's about understanding, the deeper meaning behind the words.
The article also mentioned creativity as a key skill, which I guess makes sense. You'd have to think outside the box to come up with these prompts that actually work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not just about technical knowledge. It's also about problem solving and figuring out innovative ways to tell the AI what to do.
So do you need to know how to code? Is this just a job for developers?
I mean, coding experience, especially in, Python, can be really helpful, but it's not always required. The key is to understand how these models actually work and be able to take what a human wants and turn that into instructions the AI can actually use.
So it's like being a translator almost.
Kind of.
Because that's all the technical stuff. But are there any soft skills that are helpful for this kind of role?
For sure. Communication and collaboration are super important. Prompt engineers often work with, developers, data scientists, even business people to make sure the outputs from the AI actually line up with what the organization is trying to do.
That's a good point. So you need to be able to explain super technical stuff to people who, don't have a tech background.
Right.
And vice versa too.
Yeah.
That's a good skill to have no matter what you do, really.
Mm.
Okay, but no job is perfect. So what are some of the challenges that AI prompt engineers run into?
One of the biggest ones is, well, the AI might give you unexpected outputs. Even if the prompt is perfect, AI models can give you results that are just totally off or don't make any sense.
So it's not like regular programming where, if you put in A, you always get B.
Exactly. You have to have a different mindset, one where you're constantly experimenting and tweaking things. You got to be okay with refining your prompts over and over again to get what you actually want.
Sounds frustrating.
Yeah, sometimes, especially if you have a deadline.
Totally. And the article also mentioned how fast everything is changing in this field. All the time, there are new models and new techniques. How do you even keep up with all of that?
It takes, a commitment to lifelong learning. You need to read all the new research papers, go to conferences, and experiment with all the new tools.
Sounds like a lot.
But if you're really passionate about AI, it can be a really exciting ride.
So speaking of exciting, The article mentioned some pretty impressive salaries for AI prompt engineers, especially, looking ahead to 2025.
Yeah.
We talking six figures here.
The demand for skilled prompt engineers is, well, skyrocketing, and that shows in the salaries for sure. But it's not just about the money, it's about being a part of something that's changing the world.
Right. Okay. But are there like downsides? I mean, it can't all be good, right?
Well, like any brand new field, there's always going to be some uncertainty. The technology is, constantly changing and the job market is still developing. So you got to be flexible and okay with things changing.
So it's not a career path for someone who likes, stability.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But for those who, are up for the challenge, it sounds like a lot of potential to grow and make a real impact.
Yeah.
So who are the big names in this? Is it just like the tech giants?
I mean, places like OpenAI and Google and Microsoft, they're definitely leading the way. But the need for prompt engineers is like everywhere now. Startups, consulting firms, even, traditional businesses in healthcare, finance, e-commerce, everybody wants these skills.
Yeah. So it's more than just building the next, like, ChatGPT. It's about solving real problems in lots of different industries.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Okay, so let's move past, like, the hype and look at how this is actually being used. What are some real-world examples of AI prompt engineering?
Content creation is a big one. Lots of articles and social media posts are written by AI, and someone had to write the prompts for that.
Wait, are you saying that article I read this morning could have been written by a machine?
It's totally possible. And it's not just articles either. AI can write marketing stuff, descriptions for products, even scripts for movies and TV.
Whoa. What else? The article mentioned something about software development, too.
Right. AI is being used to help write and debug code, which makes the whole development process so much faster and reduces mistakes.
So if you're already, like, a coder, this could be a cool way to combine your skills with this new field, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just about making things easier for developers. AI can help make code better, more efficient,
Less buggy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm seeing how this is going to, like, change everything. What about healthcare? They mentioned some stuff about that, too.
Healthcare is another area where this is going to be huge. Think about AI, analyzing things like X-rays and CT scans to help doctors make diagnoses.
So instead of replacing doctors, the AI is like a tool to help them do their jobs even better.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
It's about helping humans, not replacing them.
This is all, like, super fascinating. But I want to know more about the ethics of all this. The article did mention bias, but let's say that conversation for later. What I want to know right now is, like, what's next for AI prompt engineering?
Okay. Well, why don't we jump into that in part 2 of our deep dive? We can, look at some trends and think about what the world might look like as this field keeps growing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Join us for part 2 as we keep exploring the world of AI prompt engineering.
Welcome back. So we're continuing our look at AI prompt engineering.
All right, yeah, let's pick up where we left off. This whole field is, exploding. But I want to dig deeper.
Okay, sure.
In part 1, we talk about how this is actually being used out in the world. And I'm really interested in, like, the healthcare stuff.
Yeah, healthcare is a great example. It has so much potential. Like, imagine AI helping doctors with diagnoses by, looking at X-rays and CT scans.
Right.
And prompt engineers, they're the ones making sure these systems are accurate and reliable.
So it's more than just giving the AI a bunch of data. It's about, like, creating the prompts to guide its analysis.
Exactly. So, for example, prompt engineers could work with, radiologists to create prompts that help the AI pick out tiny abnormalities in X-rays, things that a human might miss.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. It's like having, like, a second pair of superpowered eyes helping you. What about education? We talked a little bit about AI tutors before. What about those?
Another area with huge potential, for sure. Imagine a world where every student has their own AI tutor, right? Available all the time. That adapts to how they learn best and at their own pace. Prompt engineers they're working on making that happen.
So they're writing prompts that help the AI tutor, like, understand different learning styles and adjust its teaching.
Yeah, exactly. They're also focused on prompts that encourage, critical thinking and problem solving and creativity. Those are the skills you really need to succeed these days.
Right. It's not just about memorizing facts anymore.
Nope.
And this could be for any subject, right? Not just, like, math and science.
Totally. It could be anything, coding, music, art, you name it. It really all comes down to how creative the prompt engineers are.
That's incredible. Okay, but let's talk about the job market for a minute. What kind of companies are hiring for these roles? We talked about the salaries a bit, but is it just, the big tech companies?
Well, the big players like OpenAI and Google and Microsoft are definitely hiring a lot of prompt engineers, yeah. But it's not just them. The need is growing everywhere. Startups, consulting firms, regular companies in healthcare, finance, e-commerce, they all need these skills.
So it's not just about building like the next ChatGPT.
No.
It's about like applying these skills to solve problems in all kinds of fields.
Exactly.
So cool. Okay, so what about the future of this whole thing? What trends do you see, changing the landscape of AI prompt engineering in the coming years?
Well, one thing we're already seeing is more specialization. As AI is used for more and more things, we'll probably see prompt engineers focusing on specific areas like healthcare, finance, education.
So you could have a prompt engineer who like only works on prompts for medical diagnosis tools,
Yeah.
and another one who focuses on like financial algorithms.
Yeah, exactly. And as these specializations develop, we'll probably see new tools and platforms being made just for those specific areas.
So instead of one platform for all prompt engineering, there might be one specifically for healthcare, one for finance, and so on.
Right. That would let prompt engineers be more efficient and effective because they'd have tools that are made just for what they need.
Makes sense. What else? The article mentioned something of automation in prompt engineering. What's that all about?
So while human expertise is always going to be important,
Cord.
there are more and more tools being made to automate some parts of the process, things like making basic prompts, testing out different versions, even finding potential problems.
So those tools would free up prompt engineers to focus on the harder, more creative parts of the job.
Exactly. They could spend more time figuring out how to get AI to do totally new things or making sure that the outputs, match up with human values.
Right. It's about like helping humans do more, not replacing them.
Yeah.
But will AI like ever be able to write really creative prompts on its own? I mean, could it eventually replace human prompt engineers?
That's a big question. I mean, AI is getting amazing at generating text and images and music, but real creativity, like true creativity, that's still a human thing, for now at least.
So even with all these fancy automation tools,
Yeah.
humans are still going to be needed to come up with those truly innovative and groundbreaking prompts.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes this so exciting. The future of AI prompt engineering isn't about, humans versus machines. It's about humans and machines working together to do amazing things.
Like a partnership.
Yeah.
Where we use the best of both to create something new.
Exactly. And as AI keeps getting better and better, that partnership is only going to become more important.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But as we like venture further into this unknown territory, we can't ignore the ethical side of all this.
You're absolutely right. That's a perfect segue into part 3 of our deep dive, where we can really unpack those ethical considerations.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've been exploring this amazing world of AI prompt engineering.
Yeah.
We talked about how it's being used, the jobs, and even what the future might hold.
Right.
But now it's time to tackle the big question, the ethics of it all.
Yeah, definitely.
As AI becomes like more and more a part of our lives, the decisions we make about how it's developed and how it's used, those are super important.
Absolutely. AI is powerful, right? And with great power comes great responsibility. We can't just ignore that. Prompt engineers especially, they're kind of like the ones who decide how AI interacts with the world.
The prompts they write can like really change the AI's output, so they have to make sure it's all being developed responsibly.
Yeah, 100%. It's not just about like technical skills. It's about understanding the bigger picture, A good prompt can lead to positive things, but a bad one, well, that could have some pretty bad consequences.
So it's about thinking about the impact AI can have on society, both good and bad.
Exactly. Prompt engineers have to watch out for biases in the data that's used to train these models. They got to try and prevent those biases from creeping into the AI.
It's kind of like being a digital architect. You're not just designing the building, you're making sure it's built on solid ground, ethically speaking.
I like that, yeah. And as AI gets, more and more advanced, those ethical considerations are only going to get more important. We got to be like proactive. We got to think about the challenges that might come up and come up with solutions that make sure AI is used for good.
Right. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But it's also super exciting to be a part of all of this. We're not just talking about code, we're talking about like the future of technology and what that means for humans.
It's a huge responsibility, but also a huge opportunity. And it's not just on prompt engineers either. It takes like everyone, developers, researchers, people who make policies, even, just regular people. Everyone needs to be involved.
We need to talk about it, set some guidelines, make sure AI is being developed in a way that benefits everyone.
Yeah, for sure. We need to be aware and we need to be accountable,
Yeah.
make sure AI lines up with our values and that it's like actually helping humanity.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI prompt engineering, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I'd say this, AI prompt engineering isn't just about the technical stuff, it's also about understanding human values and ethics. As we keep, unlocking the power of AI, we got to remember that it's a tool. It should help us, not hurt us.
Well said. This has been an amazing journey exploring this crazy new world of AI prompt engineering. Thanks for joining us in the deep dive.